So you're thinking of moving to Savannah, Georgia? Then this video is for you. Today, I'm in one of the hottest new construction communities in Savannah, and we're gonna go behind the scenes with one of my favorite builder reps, Stephanie Whittington. I'll be asking her 10 questions that every buyer interested in new construction absolutely needs to know. Make sure you stick around to the very end because we are going to be saving the best for last. We'll be discussing how you can get the best deals with new construction. All right, guys, let's get to it. Your first time visiting our channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about what's going on in the Savannah market. I'm Jen Parmalee with Cozy Realty Group. Every day we get calls from people just like you, so whether you're moving here in 9 days or 9 months, please feel free to reach out to us. All of our information is in the description box below. We would love to help make your move to Savannah an easy one. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey.
Thank you so much for taking the time to answer a couple questions for us today.
Absolutely.
So I have about 10 questions that I think are really important for buyers to understand if they're interested in new construction. The first one is we hear the term spec home a lot, and people who aren't familiar with new construction don't always know what that means. So could you explain to us what a spec home is?
Absolutely. A spec home is basically a quick move-in home, something that we've predetermined, pre-selected the options based on what we know customers want or like. And basically we have it in production for those who have leases, time frame, they don't have time to go through the building process. So we typically have different houses and different stages that will be ready for quick move-in.
Okay, so those are good if you want something fast.
That's right.
Okay. And I was gonna ask you, which kind of goes into it, what the pros and cons are between choosing a spec home versus building something from the ground up. What are the pros and cons, and what type of customer would each one be more suited to?
Okay, great question. And so what that boils down to is what is the customer needs are. You know, is their lease up in a few months? You know, are they relocating for a job and need to be in something relatively quickly? So a lot of times that will determine. Now, we have buyers who want to personalize the home. They want to have a say onto all of the different color selections, you know, wants to choose their packages. Those are going to be your pre-sale buyers, and they also have more time to build, so they're not in any rush. Also, the advantage for us is a quick move-in. Typically, you have great incentives tied to it.
Yeah.
You know, right now we have great promotions and low pricing for those quick move-ins. So it's definitely an advantage to those who can take it.
That's awesome. So yeah, and I normally get, you know, some people who they need something now, like they absolutely have to, you know, make a move. And the spec homes are great for that, especially the 30-day quick move ready home.
They are. They're great deal.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And then the buyers who maybe sometimes I get people who are retired, they have spent their whole life, you know, accumulating, they've been working, they want something that is exactly perfect and kind of built more custom to them.
Yeah.
And so have you seen that kind of as well, where that might be
absolutely
more a build from the ground up?
Absolutely. Yes. And they want what they want, and they're willing to wait for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those are kind of the two. Okay. Now, as far as customization goes, if someone came here and they wanted to customize, what would that look like?
That is typically, we can narrow down the particular lot that they want. They would be able to choose the packages, the elevations, the design of the house.
Explain to us what the elevation is.
Yeah, the elevation is the exterior design of the home, the layout. That will determine the roof lines, if it has a front porch, how long the porch is. So every floor plan has a different elevation. And so for us, it's important for most customers, if you want a porch like this that we're sitting on with a rocking chair, all of those things are to be considered when picking your elevation.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Now, what if I wanted to customize every little detail? Like, am I allowed to do that?
Not really. And the reason being is that we are a large builder and we build throughout the country. So in order to pass on savings to our consumers, we buy in bulk. bulk. Okay. So when we do that, we have to have things in packages and special pricing on certain products and design. So therefore, it's streamlined a little bit. So they would pick a package. We have here different looks collection. So that's our farmhouse, our loft, our classic. And inside of each of those looks are 4 additional packages. So they can choose in those packages the color cabinets, the flooring, things of that nature that will help personalize it.
Okay, that's awesome. So you may not be able to pick every little thing, but you can still choose an awful lot if you want to.
Absolutely. And you can decide on whether you want an upgraded tub, an upgraded shower, wood beams in some of our plans, in the ceilings that are very unique here. The triple sliding doors that you see on the patio, the screen patios, those are options that they can select and personalize.
Okay, that's great. As far as new construction and opportunities for investors, do you feel like there are good opportunities right now?
Oh, absolutely. We do manage that, meaning that investors just aren't able to just take over the whole neighborhood.
Right.
So we as a builder are very careful to make sure that we have a good balance here. But there are some great opportunities. They do get to take advantage of some of the low pricing that we have. And every now and again, there's a great home that's just a deal that you can't beat. That's a quick move in that they get to snatch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to Stephanie. We just had one of my good friends who is also an investor ended up getting a really great deal in here with Stephanie's help. And I want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely.
And as far as like rentals, because I know there's like a couple different communities here, but as far as what you've been seeing for what people are renting out the homes for, has there been a certain price range that you've noticed?
Absolutely. So it just depends on how many bedrooms, which community, what the upgrading features are. We have Oakwood, which is more of a luxury line, so you're going to have more of your expensive rentals there. But we are so close to the Hyundai plant and the port and all of those things. So it's a great place to, select for investment.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't super familiar with the area, as far as growth goes, we are seeing so much growth with the Hyundai plant, and all the support plants and the ports here are growing. So this whole area is really expanding and growing, and we're seeing great equity for people who are buying homes just a couple years later, even have really great equity in their houses. Another question is, what are the biggest mistakes that you see buyers make?
I think not having a realistic budget when they come out to shop.
That's a great one.
I mean, it's the biggest. I think being on the same page, especially when there's multiple partners in the decision process, because, and being realistic for the market. I think people say, well, I've been paying this for 20 years, and then they come out into this new market and realize that things are more expensive. You're not getting the same thing you got, 10 years ago. And so understanding where they are and having the buyer consultations with you, I think is key. People really need to sit down before they start the process with a professional to go through what that budget looks like, where those monthly payments are, and also what is the market? Where are you now? Where are you going? What do you plan to do in the next 5 years? Because I tell buyers when they come here, how long do you plan to be in this house?
Yeah.
Because if you want to build it and say, I'm going to put all these things in it, will you be able to put it back on the market because you put so many things in it? It's priced high when you were really looking to stay here long term for 30 years. So it's a big investment. So they definitely need to sit down and really make sure they're with a professional to do some research.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that, because in our process, so when we sit down with buyers, the number one thing we say is, let's connect with a lender. Let's see what makes sense for your budget, because if financially it doesn't make sense, then there's no sense in moving forward. So we want to make sure first and foremost that it makes sense for them financially and they're not being put in some sort of hardship or just have unrealistic expectations, because you don't want to look at these beautiful, expensive houses and then, realize, oh,
I can't afford them. Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have been looking at it. Yeah. Now I got to go to this one that is, comparatively, now I'm disappointed.
Exactly. And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. And also, I think understanding the loan programs.
Yeah.
Because we have the buyers who are like, hey, I have a VA loan. So they don't understand that you may not have a down payment, but what does your cash to close look like? So making people understand that there is an investment, the initial investment of what they're going to need to have for closing.
Yeah, that is a very good one. Any other very common mistakes you see buyers make?
I would probably say those are the biggest. It's just not knowing, not being prepared with the right monies.
Yeah.
Understanding earnest money, the good faith, and also understanding the mortgage process.
Yeah.
I think people are really surprised that when the lender goes and they're asking them for all these documentations and, things that, explanations of things on their credit. Why did you move this money? What is that large deposit? They feel like it's invasive.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to explain, you can't just walk in somewhere and just ask someone to loan you, $400,000 without someone gonna, asking some questions to make sure you can pay for it, right? So I think understanding the lending process and what's required of them upfront.
Yeah. Those are all really good suggestions.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about this a little bit the other day too, but you get a good amount of buyers that come in here that don't have their own real estate agent, right? And they maybe want to work with just the builder or the rep or something. Can you explain a little bit about what that means to the buyer? What are the potential risks to the buyer to have their own agent, and what would your recommendation be?
So that's a very hard question. It's a big question. It's a very loaded question. Yeah, it's totally fine. We are realtors. We're also licensed. So, we have an obligation to do things that are ethical and, and follow rules and things. So that protects the consumer to some degree.
Yeah.
However, I represent the seller and the builder. So if buyers are feeling, the need, or they have a lot of questions, and some of those I can answer, but if they're wanting guidance, advice, they would need their own representation. However, we can do as much as we can do to explain the process, our process, and how we get through that, going over the contract. But sometimes those after-hour questions, those personal questions, those things are kind of left them to the professionals, the people that they feel that they can trust.
For this neighborhood and for the builder that you work with, is there anything negative if they were to bring their own agent? Would that affect the buyer in a negative way?
It does not. It does not. We cooperate well with our agents. I love you guys. And we appreciate you. So we communicate well, and we make sure you guys are made whole. And it's not anything that the consumers have to worry about paying for, brokerage compensation. So you're covered on this end.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask about that because a lot of people have some misconceptions as far as that goes. And you might be coming from another area in the country where the builders they don't want you to have your own representation. And so they will try to give you a financial incentive.
Right.
And that's not what
we don't do that here.
Yeah.
That you're not going to gain or lose anything. So
yeah. So it's really only to their advantage.
Absolutely.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like that's definitely one of the big misconceptions.
Yeah.
As far as growth for this area in this community, is there anything as far as future-wise? You got any insight?
I do. And I have a really good one. Right across the street from where we are building, we have the new public safety facility coming for Savannah.
Okay.
It's a $3 million project, which will house your fire department and also a hub for the police. So it's really nice that that'll be coming to the area. We also heard there's some grocery chains coming that are in negotiation. So we'll see.
That'll be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So hopefully we won't get as crowded as Pooler, but we will have some great amenities here.
Yeah. So there'll be stuff close by.
Yeah.
Super far.
And literally right now, we are literally less than 10 minutes from the next exit, where all of the public and all of those shopping things are. So we're so close to the outlet, the airport. It's a great location.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And it's easy to get anywhere else you need to go.
Really, it is. Yeah.
Super easy. Yeah. Now, one last really important question for you is, how would you get the best deal in new construction?
I would say, speaking with you, going through their realtor partner, and understanding what they're looking for and comparing it to what's available in the market. And for us, our value is the selections that we put in our homes. And also, we're still family owned and operated. So we're not under the guns of the corporations, the larger companies, we're not just about numbers. We're about making sure that we build a quality home and that we have unique features that you will not see anywhere else in the market.
Yeah.
So we have a design team that works out of our New York offices and New Jersey offices that literally take their time to create some of this design and stuff that you see in our looks, and they pay attention to the market trends around the world. So
yeah.
That's an advantage that way.
And that's one of my favorite things too. I do absolutely love the looks that are in these two communities, and maybe we can take a look at those in a little bit.
Yeah.
And as far as people who are wanting a really good deal, let's say they wanted to be here, what advice would you have for them to be able to get the best deal?
I would say be ready to go now. Quick move-ins are always the advantage. We sold 6 houses last week, so we're narrowing down to our quick move-in options. So if there's, someone looking for a 1-story, for instance, right now, we have a great one on the look that is an amazing value, fully upgraded with a guest suite, so that one's a hot one, and that one won't last. So
yeah. And those quick move-in, the 30-day quick move-in ready homes, why are those priced more competitively and you get the big, steeper discounts compared to the other?
And basically because we don't want to carry and hold them.
Yeah. There's a holding cost for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. That's a very common question that I get. It's like, okay, why?
It's a business.
There's something wrong with that.
Yeah. It's a good business decision to just,
Well, maybe let's take a look at some of the looks packages just for fun, and we'll wrap it up.
All right. Very love it.
Daphne, do you want to explain to us a little bit what the different looks are and like what those options are that we were talking about earlier?
Absolutely. So the first one is our loft. This is going to be more of our modern, clean line, sleek look. Your pictures are going to be in your chrome or brush nickel finish. And then you're going to move over to your farmhouse, which is going to give you all of your black details. It's going to give you a farmhouse sink in the kitchen. You'll have the lights over some of the floating shelves, which are standard in both of our loft and farmhouse packages. And then lastly, we have classic. Classic is very traditional in the sense of design, very classic. It's why we call it that, because these are timeless designs. And also the cabinetry changes in the classic, where they go double stack all the way to the ceiling. So you have those little glass openings at the top, so you can store dishes and everything. So it's the only one of the collections that has the stack design. But our most popular looks tend to be between the farmhouse and the loft.
Yeah,
and
notice that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as, I just want your personal opinion, as far as resale value for later on, do you think there's a smarter choice here?
Not necessarily. I think people will always gravitate to what they like, and they don't typically change that. So the people who go with farmhouse, they typically always love farmhouse. So their furniture and all the aesthetics and the things that they put, the decor, is going to match that. The loft, same thing. It's very trendy. It's modern. It's clean. So if that's the buyer profile, they're going to love it.
Yeah.
So,
and what's your personal favorite?
My personal favorite is loft. I'm just a Cali girl, so I love clean lines and all of that. Plus, it's the only package that offers the waterfall islands once you get to our 3rd or 4th package. So it's my favorite.
That one's my favorite too. Yeah, I love the waterfall.
Yeah.
Now, I see these kind of books here.
Mm-hmm.
Explain what that is.
Absolutely. So when I mentioned the looks earlier in the way that people get to personalize, you're going to go into those different designs. So there's 6 different packages in each look that they get to choose from. That changes your cabinetry, changes your tile flooring, and other things inside of the home throughout the home. So that's where the personalization comes in.
Okay. Do you have a favorite? Let's take a look at one just for an example.
Yes. Let's look at a loft. And the beauty in loft is you get a little lucky on a couple of these, and you get some navy cabinetry. And this is one of those packages here where you're going to have an option to get navy blue cabinets, which are really nice, very different. And your quartz is a beautiful white, so it pops really nicely up against this. And then you also have the lining floor, so the kitchen isn't dark. I mean, it's a great balance. They really curated these packages to go together and be harmonious together.
That's awesome. So this is cabinet, carpet. This would be the
You're at LVP.
LVP. Kitchen cabinet.
Kitchen. This is your quartz. Yes, your kitchen. This is also quartz goes in your bathrooms. And then you go into your tile showers and ceramic floors, secondary and your primary.
So these are all like really nice color palettes that are all put together by designers.
Interior designers, yes. These are professionals putting these together.
And that's awesome because you have 6 different choices in each look section. That's already been put together by a designer, so you know it's going to go well because you have more options too, which I think that is absolutely great and a really smart way of doing it, because a lot of people are very overwhelmed to do like a custom build. You have to pick hundreds and hundreds of individual choices. And I feel like this is a really smart, easy way to still allow customization, but, you know, they don't have to make a million choices.
Exactly. and that's the thing. Everyone says they want it until it's time to do it. Because when we did it the old way, where you literally pick every single thing, people would have sleepless nights because they couldn't decide. They didn't know if it would really look good together. They kept second guessing, making change orders, and it was just creating a lot of anxiety for a lot of consumers. So we just decided not to do that and let the professionals do what they do best.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a walk around a farmhouse and a loft look. So just to give you an example, is there a classic that's close to completion in the neighborhood?
We don't right now. We do have one that you can take a look in.
Okay.
I do think that one probably has some taped up. It's ready for closing.
Okay.
So you can at least show the kitchen.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Actually taking the time out of your crazy busy day.
No, thank you so much. And I appreciate you guys coming, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope you really got some value out of what we discussed. Make sure if you are interested in new construction communities, this one or any others in the Savannah area, or you just want to explore the area in general, reach out to me and my team. Our contact information is all in the description box below. We would love to help make your move to Savannah an easy one.